for YouTube this time. That's a good sign. Last time I hit the button, it wasn't there.
Well, it worked. You're going live.
All right. This time we are live across all three platforms. So good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of This Week Unloaded. I am your host, Rich White. And with me tonight is Mr. Gizzard Gary and Charlie the Cardinal. So how are you tonight, Gizzard?
I am all right. Thanks for having me. Finally live. It's nice to be alive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I decided that the little cardinal that Ron Tway Matters made for me is going to be named Charlie because it's alliterative. Charlie the Cardinal. Charlie Cardinal. That's his name. So let's see who we got out there on the YouTube side. They got Mr. Gizzard Gary out there on the YouTube side as well as in here. And Woods is out there. And so is Vulcan Rumble. I don't know if anybody said anything over on Rumble. Probably not. Nope. And had nobody say anything over on Rumble. It says there's one person on Rumble, but it always says there's one person on Rumble, so who knows? So how was your day, man? Anything interesting happen?
I got up fairly early, around 7:30, just because I got up, and it's been a pretty good day. I was on Foss's show. We were on 2 or 3 hours, and then let's see. I went downtown for a little bit, spent some money. Was going to drive out in the country, but then it started to rain, so I came on home. And I've been doing some work around here, and that's about it. But not a horrible day. How about you?
Well, played a little Star Trek Online, which saw that you guys had a bracket on Foss to show that Dr. McCoy won, speaking of Star Trek.
Yes.
And we've been joined out there on the YouTube side by our tech daughters. So evening to you, sir.
And I watched part of the Royals game. Of course, I was telling you that they have now won 7 in a row.
Yeah.
Here we go, playoff run.
Uh-huh. It could happen.
It could happen.
Just got to be the, third best wild card team?
Yeah. It's not impossible.
It's not impossible in the American League.
We'll see. They've had some key players out, and some of the bench replacements have really come through, and pitching's finally starting to come through a little bit. So we'll see. I think they're starting to play with a little bit of confidence. So, but that was a 6-game homestand. So now they go back out on the road. That'll be the real test.
Yeah, the Pirates started on.
They're now 6 games over 500 at home, which is pretty positive.
The Pirates are on the road as well. They started in LA and just dropped a 3-game series to them. So 2 of them by 1 point, though. So we'll see what happens the rest of this road trip. It's supposed to be their longest road trip this season. And they just came off a really long road trip then we're home for a 2 series at home, one against the Mets and then Tigers.
Well, it's starting to get dark earlier and earlier at night. I tell you what, here it is, 8:15. It's already starting to get dark outside.
Anyway, did you hear about what's going on with Eric Swalwell? Remember him, the guy that got caught with the Chinese spy?
Oh gosh, his name has been in and out of the news for the last few years now. But what now?
Oh, he's definitely being investigated by the FBI. So we're going to take a look at that. I got a story pulled up from Newsmax on that one. So let's move us out of the way so people can see. And then I'll go up here and
Yeah,
we'll read
something
this
about he's
article.
being accused of giving up secrets or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, this is from Newsmax. It's yes, from yesterday, September. September. Saturday, August 22nd, 2026. FBI seizes Swalwell devices in federal probe. And it's by Charlie McCarthy, not to be confused with Edgar Bergen's puppet, if you remember that, Gary.
Kind of mini Wayne before there was a mini Wayne. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And he's the daughter of Candace Bergen from Murphy, what was it, Murphy Brown or some shit?
The father of Candace Bergen, you mean?
Yeah, what did I say?
Daughter.
Oh, his daughter is Candace Bergen, is what I meant to say, and I got my wires crossed apparently. Anyway, yes, he is the father of her. Anyway, FBI agents reportedly confronted former Rep Eric Swalwell at a California airport last weekend and seized his electronics as part of a federal criminal investigation. Agents served the California Democrat with a search warrant Saturday after he arrived at San Francisco International Airport, seizing his cell phone and other electronic devices, the Daily Mail first reported. A source subsequently confirmed the airport encounter to the New York Post. Federal agents also executed additional court-approved warrants Sunday. This is last weekend at Swalwell's Washington D.C. residence and seized other potential evidence, according to reports. Swalwell, 45, cooperated with agents at the airport. Neither the FBI nor Justice Department immediately commented on the reported searches. The investigation comes after multiple women accused the former congressman of sexual misconduct, allegations Swalwell has vehemently denied. At least four women have publicly accused Swalwell of misconduct, according to the reports. A former staffer has alleged that Swalwell raped her on two occasions when she was too intoxicated to consent, while another woman has accused him of drugging and sexually assaulting her in 2018. Two women have alleged he sent them unsolicited explosive photos or images, it says, but you get the idea. The allegations have not been proven in court, and Swalwell maintains his innocence. The Justice Department opened an investigation in April, according to both outlets. The accusations brought a dramatic end to the political career of one of President Donald Trump's most outspoken Democrat critics and opponent of the Second Amendment, I might add. Swalwell ended his campaign for California governor after the allegations surfaced and resigned from Congress in April as he faced a House Ethics Committee investigation. The reported FBI action comes as Swalwell faces renewed scrutiny over his past relationship with Christine Fang, the suspected Chinese intelligence operative known as Fang Fang. Newly declassified records released by the White House Transparency Task Force reportedly state that Swalwell told the FBI he had occasionally hooked up with Fang. She had cultivated relationships with rising California politicians and helped bundle donations for Swalwell's 2014 re-election campaign. Swalwell has not been accused by law enforcement of wrongdoing related to Fang. The former congressman had served 7 terms in the House and briefly sought the 2020 Democrat presidential nomination before becoming a frequent television defender of his party and Trump critic. What do you think, Gizzard? Is he guilty?
I put out in the text, he sounds a little bit like Anthony Weiner.
Hmm,
Kind of
yes, he
reminds
does.
me.
Same party, too.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Same MO.
Yep, yep, yep. I don't think Weiner was actually accused of actually raping somebody, though, like Swalwell has. He may have taken it a little too far. With Weiner, it was just unwanted advances in pictures. Swalwell went full Bill Cosby on them. I'd say this is a little bit worse than Anthony Weiner, even.
Denny's plant-based journey is out there, by the way.
Yes. Good evening, sir. Wood says even the Dems threw him out already. Mm-hmm. Vulcan Rumble says senators are employees of the governor in the original Constitution. No, senators were employees of the state legislature, not the governor. The state legislature elected the senators, and then they could also remove the senators if they felt they were not doing the job that they wanted them to be doing. It wasn't the governor, it was the state legislature. But in any case, it was not the general public that elected the senators. That got changed in the 18th Amendment, I think, or was that the 17th?
One of
It
those.
was, yeah, it was one of those when they were passing amendment after amendment after amendment around the Wilson administration.
Well, so
Because they passed quite a few, quite a few. You had women's suffrage, the Senate change, the income tax instituted. That all came in that same time period. If I forget the exact number, I apologize. But it's one of those. It was 17, 18, or 19, somewhere in that range, which changed to how the Senate is elected. So,
yeah, this guy sounds like a real piece of work. But
mm,
to be fair, there's probably plenty of gems just like that. I'm not saying that everybody in government is that way. I don't believe that's to be the case, but there's way too many slime balls in there.
yeah.
Let's put it that way.
And to use Ron Wayne's analogy from last weekend when we were talking about somebody, I forget who we were talking about at the time. Every time you see him on TV, he seems like he would make a great used car salesman. He just,
Packrat's headache is out there now.
good evening, sir. But yeah, Swalwell just comes across as a slime ball. He's just got that aura. You know what I mean? How some people, you just look at him like being interviewed or you talk to them and they look like they should just be dripping green slime.
I was gonna say there was another one. Who was it that ran for president? Found out he was having an affair. His wife was dying of cancer or something. Who am
Oh,
I
that was
thinking
fairly
of?
recent too. I can't think of it. I know what you're talking about. And I can't think of who
He
it was
was
either.
a real slicky looking guy, handsome, all that stuff. Real slime ball.
Is it John Edwards?
Yes,
Yeah.
Edwards. That's it.
Wood
Yeah.
says it was the 17th Amendment, by the way. Yeah, like I said, it was 17th, 18th, 19th. It was in that range of amendments where that was that
Uh,
change was made.
One in a long list of slime balls. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like televangelist Jimmy Swaggart.
Uh, Jim and Tammy Faye Baker.
Yeah.
Remember the million
Jim
dollar
Jim
dog
wasn't
house?
real. Jim wasn't real political. Swagger tended to try to get into politics
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, but
Yeah,
yeah, Baker was one of the originals when it came to that stuff.
Oral Roberts. Send me $1 million or God's going to kill me.
Yeah, but I don't believe he ever got with any ladies or anything. I don't
No, but
believe
he was
that's
a
ever
grifter.
been
He was
accused.
a definite grifter.
Well, that's part of televangelist and fundraising.
I
That's
don't
just
think the
par for the
or
course.
yeah, but you don't see other televangelists saying, "Or God's going to kill me."
Maybe not to that extreme. There's some pretty loony ones out there.
Oh, I know.
Used to be what in the
Who's,
world was that?
who's the one
I
everybody
f
talks about now? I can't remember his damn name.
There was a network TBN or something. It was. religious network used to be on real late at night. They
The
like
Bible Network. The
Benny
Bible.
Hinn was on there
Yeah,
and stuff like
yeah.
that.
The Bible Network. That was a cable channel at
Yeah,
one point. Yeah.
they had some real loonies on that one too. They're selling, supposedly fragments of the Shroud
Hmm.
of Turin, and you could get a square, 1 inch by 1 inch for your prayer donation.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like when the Berlin Wall fell. They had those little rocks of concrete that they were selling in department stores. Own a piece of the Berlin Wall. And they'd have this big display. There had to have been like 200 pieces of the so-called Berlin Wall there. It's like, yeah,
I
right.
was I saw an article the other day. I don't know if it's true, but they were talking about, oh, what's that church down in Houston? They took that old sports arena and made a church out of it. Is it Lakeland or something like
I
that?
have no idea.
That big televangelist. He used to have like 20,000 people at each service, and they say they're barely drawn like 1,000 people now. The place is virtually empty.
Mm-hmm. You know, then he
Yeah.
says Robert Morris in Dallas was the big one at Gateway Church. Yeah, 12-year-old girl for many years. That reminds me of the one that guy that was running the cult based off the Mormons a few years ago that got busted for child marriages and whatnot. Remember Gary? Who I'm talking? Remember who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I don't remember the name.
Yeah, I can't remember
Yeah,
his name, but
Denny came up with Joel Osteen. That's who I'm
yeah,
thinking of.
that's who I
Yeah.
was thinking about. Yeah. Wood says, imagine if Jesus came back and saw the televangelists. He'd be flipping some tables. Yeah, he probably would. Probably would.
All these preachers, and I don't want to offend anybody who, you know, subscribes to this stuff, but they basically preach a prosperity gospel, that the more you donate, the more riches you'll get back in return and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. And it's just a way of, and then these people, they have their jets, they fly from here to there, 9 mansions and stuff. There's stories about Joel Osteen and his private jets,
Yeah.
kind of like Tammy Faye and her air conditioned doghouse back in the day and
Mm-hmm.
stuff
Yeah.
like that.
That doghouse back in the 80s was $1 million.
Warren Jeffs, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
that's who you're talking
Yeah, that's
about.
what I was thinking of. The
I'm glad we got
winter.
viewers out there who can help us come up with these names.
Yeah.
I can come up with pictures in my head, but the
Mm-hmm.
names aren't coming to me. That's part of
Yeah,
getting old.
that's where I went because at first I was like, "Who's that recent guy down in Texas? You know, the guy that they're always
It's
talking
like
about."
I can see
Joel
him.
Osteen.
What's
Yeah,
his
that's what
name?
it is. And the guy, the Mormon guy. Yeah, who was that? Oh yeah, Warren Jeffs. That's okay. Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
And
Wood
he
says
says,
maybe some smiting is needed. Maybe.
mm-hmm,
I don't
maybe.
know. I'm not the judge here, so not for me to say. But
Yeah. Then he says those guys are all liars and frauds. Gullible people follow him and send them money. Mm-hmm. Now there have been a
yeah,
couple who were legitimate, but for the most part, yeah, you get the legitimate ones, and you get the ones who are grifters that are just trying to make a buck. Like everybody and their mother who knew him and everything says Billy Graham was absolutely 100% legitimate.
I never had any trouble with the legitimacy of Billy Graham. Yeah, he come across as totally what he claimed to be. So Denny says, as a preacher, I kind of keep up with some of that foolishness. Yeah, you'd have to.
You have to, you know. You gotta warn your flock who not to watch and listen to because some of these guys, like we've said, they're in it for themselves. It's hard to sometimes to figure out which ones are and which ones aren't. You know what I mean? Really got to pay
Well,
attention.
we were warned a long time ago. People are going to come later in life, and they're going to say, I am he, I'm the one,
Mhm.
and don't listen to these people. We were warned.
Yeah.
Aussies out there. We weren't warned about Aussie because there's no
No.
need to be warned about Aussie.
But Matthew 7:15, beware false prophets who come wearing sheep clothing but are actually ravenous wolves.
And Woods claims that guns are cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mine
Well,
are, for
we're gonna
sure.
get it. We're gonna get into some gun stories too. There was a big ruling in the Ninth Circuit, which surprisingly enough is in our favor out of the Ninth Circuit, if you can imagine. So let me pull this story up. Would help if I was doing it right. Again, this is out of the Ninth Circuit, and this is via just the U.S. law. State of California versus United States Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, 24-2709, Ninth Circuit, 2026. U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit, docket number 24-2701. Date decided August 21st, 2026. Just the opinion summary. We're only going to read the summary. I'm not reading the whole decision. The plaintiffs in this case, the state of California and the Giffords Law Center to Prevent Gun Violence, challenged a federal regulation issued by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, ATF. The regulation expanded the scope of Gun Control Act to cover certain partially complete, disassembled, or non-functional firearm frames and receivers, but explicitly stated that some unfinished components, such as those not sold with instructions or tools or completion, were not subject to the Act. California claimed that as a result of the regulation's limitations, it was forced to increase financial and training expenditures related to state law enforcement and regulation of ghost guns. Giffords Law Center asserted that its core mission was frustrated by the regulation requiring it to divert resources to address increased ghost gun proliferation. In the United States District Court for the North District of California, the plaintiffs and defendants filed cross motions for summary judgment. The sorry, excuse me. The district court concluded that both California and the Giffords Law Center had standing to bring suit. On the merits, the district court granted summary judgment for ATF on one count, but for the plaintiffs on another, holding that the regulation was arbitrary and capricious. The district court declared the challenged portion of the regulation unlawful, vacated it, and remanded the matter to ATF. On appeal, the United States Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit reviewed the district court's decision de novo. Focusing on Article 3 standing, the Ninth Circuit found that the plaintiffs failed to establish a causal connection between the challenged regulatory example and their alleged injuries. The court held that the plaintiffs' asserted harms were too speculative and not fairly traceable to the regulation. As a result, the Ninth Circuit vacated the district court's order and remanded the case with instructions to dismiss it without prejudice for lack of standing. In other words, California tried suing to enact the receiver rule that the ATF tried doing and didn't, and were told to, well, you don't have standing to sue for that, so no, you can't do this. So,
Cool.
what do you think of that one, Gizzard?
I like it.
Short and sweet. All right. So that's the rare win out of the Ninth Circuit. You don't see that very often. Now it doesn't say if that was in Bonk or not. Should so I said I haven't read the full opinion, just the summary. You can find out. It'll say down. It should say down here if it was in Bonk or not in the ruling itself. as a three-judge panel. Okay, so they could still appeal that to the full court, but even a three-judge panel out of the Ninth Circuit, we usually don't see wins out of that. So,
Right.
yeah, and I'm willing to bet that California and the Giffords Nimrods are going to appeal that decision. They usually do. They're not going to let that stand. It'd be interesting to see what happens if they do appeal and it goes before the full Ninth Circuit. But as of right now, that is what we got. Well, gee, if nobody listens when I'm reading, I might as well just stop the show right now. Christ, what the hell?
Well, Woods isn't listening, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And there goes my knife.
I, I don't know if they listen when I read either, but I read anyway.
Mm-hmm.
A, it helps pass the time, and B, have probably at least one person out of the
Yeah.
19 that are watching will
How's
hear
anybody
it.
going to know what we're talking about if they don't listen when we're reading the stories that we're talking
I
about?
mean, somebody could be like Guns and Barbecue and visually impaired, and they can't read what's on the screen. So if you don't read it to
Mm-hmm.
them,
Yeah.
and there's Patriot in the Dark, he might watch replays. There's plenty
Yeah.
of people. I'm just trying to be out, trying to be handicap accessible here.
Yep. Exactly. And
But
Patriot does watch the show in replays because he's commented in the past on them. So you know,
part of my
gotta.
show is visual, and part of it is definitely hearing. Speaking of Guns and Barbecue, he's out there. Ah,
I think he used one too many A's there, barbecue. Packrat says he thinks that we're going to see more of these kind of rulings coming. Maybe, maybe. I don't know how many judges Trump's appointed to the ninth to know if that flipped anything or not. Somebody said he did appoint one or two new justices to the Ninth Circuit. Whether that's going to be enough to change the full circuit, because remember at one point they were the most overturned circuit in the country. We shall see what happens. Because, like I said, I have no doubt whatsoever that California and Giffords are going to appeal this ruling because it definitely did not go in their favor. I don't not. They weren't told that they were wrong. They were told, "Hey, you don't even have standing to bring this case." I don't think they're going to let that stand. We shall see. We shall see. Close that one. Then we come up to the Silencer Co. v. ATF decision. And interesting letter that was put out this week by 9 different states' attorney generals. I believe it was written by your attorney general, Gizzard,
cool,
where
buddy, Chris.
yeah, it's on that letterhead. So let's share this. By the way, guys, all the links to the stories and the court decisions in this letter are in the description below. So you can go and check it out on your own later if you wish to. And we can over here and share this. Basically, these 9 states attorney generals are telling people that, yeah, the decision covers everybody in the state. So let's see what they have to say, shall we? Again, State of Kansas Office of the Attorney General, Chris W. Is that Kobach?
Go Bach.
And it's from August 13th of 2026, but the YouTube channels just started covering this letter this weekend. First I saw anybody make any mention of this. So it says, Dear Counsel, in light of the U.S. District Court's August 5th, 2026 ruling in Silencer Shop Foundation et al. V. Bureau Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives et al. Case number 625-CV-00056, we, the undersigned attorneys general, write to request that the ATF advise in writing that what steps it is taking to immediately stop the enforcement in the plaintiff's states of the challenge NFA provisions, assuming no stay of the ruling and judgment issues from earlier. Is this the right letter? I think it is. It might not be. I might have the wrong letter pulled up. Hold on.
I don't know.
So I'm looking to see. Yeah, this is just them asking them for. Okay, so I think I got the wrong letter here because there were multiple letters on this front. I know. I think this is the right one. Okay, yeah, this is the right one. So never mind. Never mind that. Okay. Writing that steps is taking immediately enforcement in the plaintiff states of the challenge NFA provisions, assuming no stay of the ruling and judgment issues from either the district court or the Fifth Circuit. We are seeking clarity for any person within the plaintiff states trying to make a purchase that the relevant provisions of the NFA are enjoined and no additional paperwork will be required other than the normal Form 4473. On this point, and in terms of the scope of the injunction, the court expressly held the court's injunctions will accordingly extend to those states, their agencies, and their political subdivisions. Memorandum Opinion Order at 64 clearly states, refers to something in addition to state agencies, since they are separate items in a list. Consequently, we view the district court's holding to extend beyond state agencies. What they are saying here in this letter is that they don't hold that it only applies to the state agencies like some other lawyers have stated, including the lawyers who represented at least some of the plaintiffs in the case. These attorney generals are saying that states means everybody that lives in the state. In light of this holding, we seek answers to the following questions. How will purchasers and dealers know that the government's applicable registration requirements are no longer enforceable in the plaintiff states? Will notice be provided on the ATF website that enforcement of the registration requirements is enjoined in the plaintiff states? Will all firearms dealers and relevant manufacturers located in plaintiff states be notified directly and promptly by the ATF that they no longer need to comply with the relevant registration requirements? If the government has a different view as to the scope of the injunction, we ask that you inform us of your position immediately. Additionally, and for the sake of clarity, if the government is taking steps to remove the registration requirements, we would consider that a violation of the court's memorandum of opinion and order. As a final point, please be advised that the Attorney General of Kansas himself may purchase a suppressor in the weeks ahead and is willing to sign an affidavit if the ATF attempts to defy the order, either willingly or mistakenly. Thank you for your cooperation to ensure compliance with the court's ruling and judgment. And it's signed Chris W. Kobach and Liz Morrow of the Louisiana Attorney General, Gentner Drummond, Oklahoma Attorney General, Marty Jackley, South Dakota Attorney General, Wyoming Attorney General Keith Cox, Indiana Attorney General Todd Rakita, North Dakota Attorney General Drew W. Wrigley, South Carolina Attorney General Alan Wilson, and Utah Attorney General Derek Brown. So what do you think of that one? Got 9 attorney generals saying, no, it applies to everybody in the state.
Yeah, it's going to definitely force their hand. They're going to have to either come out and say, yeah, it does, or no, it doesn't, rather than us waiting to find out.
Yeah. But But not all attorney generals agree, though, because in the story or the video where I saw him talk to just an attorney talking about this letter, he brought up the fact that West Virginia's attorney general is telling people, pump your brakes, hold on, we don't know yet, basically. And honestly, I tend to agree with him. Until we know for sure exactly what the OTF plans on doing, if
Well,
you're
that's
not,
more or less the guidelines that our AG has
yeah,
given FFLs around here when they write for advice. It's like no comment right now. He doesn't have an answer. That's why he's trying to get an answer because it's
and
not clear.
obviously, and be quite frank, that's the best advice. Just hold on, guys. Give it a little bit more time. Don't go rushing out there and do something that's going to get you in trouble. There's still disputes over whether or not we have to still do the engraving. I think it was Jared from Guns and Gadgets today that did put out a video saying that one of the requirements of the NFA that wasn't overturned says that the maker has to engrave, right? But
Hmm.
one of the ones that was enjoined says there's no penalty if you're caught with an NFA item that isn't engraved. So do you have to engrave or do you not have to engrave? We got conflicting things here. On one hand, it says you got to do it, but the other hand, it says they can't enforce it if you're caught with one that isn't. And where does that leave people who got their, oh, excuse me, NFA approval during the amnesty for the pistol braces back then for people that filed for that? Because under that amnesty, they didn't have to engrave their firearms because it was stated that they weren't the manufacturer. The manufacturer of the lower was the manufacturer or the firearm in general. So where does that leave them on this? So, I mean, there's lots of
Yeah.
questions that we don't know the answers to at this point. So, yeah, don't go out there and do something and potentially cause yourself a 10-year prison sentence. Not that I think anybody's going to have that happen to them, but like we said last week, CYA, cover your ass. Nobody else is going to do it for you. Yeah, Packrat said he hates to say it, but the ruling has created a real mess. And them not doing the appeal, I think, even makes it worse. Because like Jared said, it sucks that the judge could not make this one nationwide. But that's a double-edged sword because the reason why they can't do it nationwide is because that one judge kept blocking everything Trump was trying to do on immigration, if you all remember. So that cuts both ways. If you went to the Fifth Circuit and they ruled in favor, that would cover the entire country because it's a circuit court with no argumentative opinion from one of the other circuit courts. Packard says, as of now, you still have to engrave. Do you? Because again, the one thing that wasn't enjoined says you do. But the other one that was enjoined says that if you're caught with one that isn't engraved, you're not going to be prosecuted for it. It's two parts of the same law. One half is enjoined, the other half isn't. And for it to be fully enforceable, they have to both be in lockstep with each other. It The one that says you have to engrave, yes, and the other one says that they will arrest you if you don't engrave is the one that's enjoined. It's like Jared said, are we supposed to engrave or aren't we? We don't know. Until we get official ruling on this from somebody, we don't know. it's just created one hell of a mess. If he would have just enjoined the whole damn kit and caboodle having to do with SBRs, SBSs, and suppressors, and certain AOWs, not all, just certain, this wouldn't be an issue. But he enjoined parts of the exact same part that says that you have to do this, but then you're not going to be held liable if you're caught without it. So, which one is it? Do you have to, or do you not have to?
Yes.
Exactly. We don't. We just don't know. And they can go back to this district judge for clarification on that as well. It's not just the ATF. The judge himself can issue a declarative ruling on his ruling and better flesh out what his view is on what can and can't be done. But we haven't got that either. Right now, we're sitting here with our thumbs up our butts trying to figure out what the fucking hell we're doing. Because nobody in government is giving us a ruling one way or the other on any of this. The ATF's been quiet. The judge who issued the ruling, if he was asked for a clarification, hasn't come forward yet. We've been sitting here, how many weeks is it now? And we still don't know. Well, that's just the point, Pack Rat. The ATF issues a rule. It means nothing because the ATF rule cannot change law. Remember, the NFA is not a ATF rule. It's an actual law passed by Congress. This whole idea that everybody has, we got to wait for the ATF to come up with a ruling on it. Really, the ATF ruling wouldn't hold any weight anyway. It's like people saying the ATF needs to apply the circuit decision nationwide. Technically speaking, they don't have the authority to do that. We're on to a matters out there. Evening, sir. That's what makes this such a cluster at this point. The judge went into detail in the full ruling, but he didn't go into enough detail. And he didn't enjoin enough of the law to make it easy to enforce or not enforce. Wood says over under and when we get the final results. He says November 12th. No, the engraving is in the GCA. Pack Rat, if I remember correctly. And I believe Clover touched on that last week when he was in one of our chats when we were talking about it. I forget whose. That's if I remember what Clover was saying correctly. I believe he said that was in the GCA. I will check and make sure. If for some reason my browser will let it work. And it is, I believe, when build. Yeah. Where does it come from? I don't care about that. Good Lord Almighty. Just searching NFA engraving requirement just brings up a bunch of questions about the court ruling. Who'd have thunk it? Yeah, this doesn't say. That's just the requirements. Damn it. Let me try another search. Let's try this search, see what we get. Okay, yes, that was. So I may have been mistaken about what Clover was saying, because it does say that that came under 27 CFR. So yeah, that one can potentially be thrown out because that says that was an NFA engraving thing. But Clover did say last week that on one of our shows, I forget, it might have been yours, Gizzard, in the chat, that that was under the GCA. But according to this, it was not. So again, I was going on what Clover said. Clover apparently was wrong on that one. So yeah, that one the NFA, the ATF could get rid of themselves. It's a oh I thought you just typoed. Which says no. I said never Ember. I was thinking that he typoed and said, it meant November. So yeah. So that's anyway. Until we get something then from the NFA from the ATF on that one, we don't know.
Right.
It's just, but they still cannot make the ruling nationwide because the NFA as a whole, which does cover the SBSs, the SBRs, the suppressors, and the other, is federal law. And uh, so if they can get rid of the engraving, that's fine. But the rest of it, the ATF technically cannot just put out a ruling like what some people want and make this a nationwide thing. They don't have the authority to do so. They're saying, well, and then I've seen some people say, well, it can be done by executive order. No, it can't. Executive order cannot override federal law. So, yeah, the ATF just can't decide, whoops, this ruling from this judge applies to the entire country. Sadly, but that's, I mean, the current ATF through prosecutorial um, discretion can decide not to prosecute people. That they can do, but they can't just go and say, nope, it doesn't exist anymore. The head of the ATF can throw out a rule saying we're not going to prosecute, but the next ATF director can come in and say, nope, we're prosecuting these people, which creates a whole other kettle of fish. At that point, if depending on how many people were to purchase these things under this ruling, if the ATF decides that's sitting in there now decides to not prosecute anybody for this, and the next and say 20 million people go out there and buy suppressors that are unregistered, and the next ATF director comes in and says, "No, we're cracking down on these people." How the hell are they going to do it? this this is going to create one hell of a mess at some point. Right. The executive orders can remove rules. You're absolutely right. It's been done before. That's not the issue. The issue is the rest of it. That's still law for the people who aren't named plaintiffs. And given the issue with the states, you got lawyers, like I said earlier, for the plaintiffs that are saying, no, it doesn't cover the citizens of the states. But you got 9 of the attorney generals who were a party to this case saying it does cover the people in their states. Which is it? We don't know. But the attorneys generals from those states, and yes, that is the proper way you pluralize it. You plural the attorneys, not the attorney, and not general. So it's when you got a group of attorney generals, that's incorrect. It's attorneys general. I don't know why. I don't know who came up with the rule. That's the way you pluralize it. But yeah, according to the letter that they put out to the ATF, because state is an individual term used because it says states, their agencies, and I'm trying to remember what the hell, and their political subdivisions. See right here? Let me highlight this. States, their agencies, and the political subdivisions. These attorney generals say because states is by itself, that means the people of the state. Now, if we apply Bruin to this, they have a point. You know why? The 10th Amendment, the states in the 10th Amendment refers to the people, or the Ninth Amendment refers to the people. So, using the historical doctrine that's been in use since the founding of the country, they could be absolutely right that the word states refers to the people. But you got to get the right judge to make that determination. And you got lawyers on on taking 2 different camps on our side, mind you, saying on one hand, no, it doesn't, and on the other hand, yes, it does. Who do you believe? Ron Wayne's out there in the YouTube chat, by the way. Evening to you, sir. You got YouTube hosts whose heads are spinning around because they don't know who the hell to listen to believe. I can't tell you who to listen to. I don't know. You got different opinions from multiple different people.
Yeah.
Not even all the attorneys general in the damn case agree with each other on who it applies to and who it doesn't. One would hope that the judge would see this mess that he's made and go out on his own and put out a declarative ruling to ease the confusion. At this point, that might be the best bet we have, is him to see, oops, I need to fix this. As I said before, he can do this. It's happened before with cases where a judge declares a ruling and either the plaintiff or the defendant or the judge on his or her own realizes, oop, I need to clarify this a little better, and puts out a declarative or declarative ruling. It can be ruled determined either way, a declarative ruling or a declarative ruling. Basically, where they make it where their rulings is less confusing on certain aspects. What says get it together, red team? Okay. Now, we also have a statement from the NSSF on this to look at. So let me go pull that up. It gets even better because they don't know either. And these are the people that represent the people that sell you your guns. This is from August 17th, so this is more recent than the other. NSFF, NSSF. There we go. I got it right. Guidance on NFA transfers. On October, I can't get the name of months right even. On August 8th, 2026, a federal judge in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Texas ruled in Silencer Shop v. ATF that most of the National Firearms Act is unconstitutional, stating that portions of the NFA is this. By the way, did I go over and share that? Nope. You forget I got to add it to screen. Okay. Portions of the NFA no longer collect tax revenue. As a result, cuts in last year's One Big Beautiful Bill can no longer be justified as lawful exercise of Congress's taxing authority. The court concluded that the registration requirements and other regulations on items like silencers, aka suppressors, short barreled rifles, SBRs, and short barrel shotguns, SBSs. By the way, they did SBSs wrong. When you have an S, a abbreviation or a word that adds an S, it's an ES, not an S. Anyway, they are ostensibly justified as part of the tax collection process are unconstitutional. The court entered a permanent injunction providing relief to only the plaintiffs in the legal challenge, and the U.S. Department of Justice declined to seek an emergency appeal or stay of that decision, which means that the injunction is now in effect. However, DOJ still has until October 5th, 2026 to appeal or seek a stay of the final judgment, and there are many unanswered questions about the implications of the injunction. Yeah, no kidding. NSSF has requested the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives issue guidance to the industry so that federal firearms licensees can remain in compliance with the law. In the meantime, NSSF is providing its understanding of the state of play. This is not legal advice. FFL should consult with their attorney. And if you have any questions, you might be better off doing that too. But even then, is already demonstrated since a lot of these people who are making these decisions and saying you can do this, no, you can't do this, are attorneys, and they don't know. Anyway, according to the NSSF, who does the injunction apply to? The scope of the injunction is limited and only extends to the named plaintiffs or current and future members, and in the case of commercial plaintiffs or commercial members of plaintiff organizations, their current and future customers. What does that mean? According to the NSSF, it does not apply to members of state populations. But they go on. The plaintiffs in the silencer shop case include B&T USA, Firearms Regulatory Accountability Coalition, Gun Owners Foundation, Gun Owners of America, Palmetto State Armory, Silencer Co., Weapons Research, Silencer Shop Foundation, the states of Alaska, Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Montana, North Dakota, Oklahoma, South Carolina, South Dakota, Texas, Utah, West Virginia, and Wyoming. Now, the way they got it worded with the states, you would think that it would apply to the people. Okay. The plaintiffs in the Jensen v. ATF case, which was joined with Silencer Shop Co. to form the entire ruling, include Texas State Rifle Association, the NRA's Texas affiliate, which means that the NRA is not included, even though they funded money into it, but because the parent organization isn't the one that actually filed the lawsuit. According to numerous attorneys, the NRA is not included. So if you're a member of the NRA, you're screwed. Then we got the Citizens Committee for the Right to Keep and Bear Arms and the FPC Action Foundation, which is not the FPC, by the way. That is a sister organization. So if you're a member of the FPC, you are not covered. You have to be a member of the FPC Action Foundation and Hot Shots Custom. If you are not a named plaintiff, the injunction will only cover your activities if you are a member of firearms regulatory. Yeah, we know that. We read all that. For the right to keep blah, 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 blah. If you are a member of these organizations, the injunction will be effective only as to transfers between you and your customers. Okay, that's for business. So here we go again. Are you or are you not? It says, while the several states are plaintiffs, the court's injunction only extends to their agencies and political subdivisions. It does not cover the citizens of those states at large. So according to the NSSF, you're not covered. Who do you freaking believe and listen to?
Should always listen to your legal counsel.
Given that most of these people that are making these claims are lawyers, how do you trust your lawyer to know?
Well, your particular lawyer is going to know exactly how the law applies to you. It's kind of like all these FFLs that were sending messages to the state attorney general seeking opinions. Um, and most of them didn't get a response because it really, and the ones that did basically, they told them it's not the job of the attorney general to advise individual clients on legal matters.
Well, if you look at that letter from the attorney generals, they don't know themselves. They don't know. They haven't heard from the ATF on how this is supposed to be enforced and everything. Who do you listen to? You go to your lawyer. Your lawyer's not going to have a response from the ATF either. It, this is one big mess at this point. Is it a good mess to have? I guess you can make that say that, but is it? But we're left holding the bag because we don't know what we can and can't do at this point.
Well, it's because all these people came out, all these social media, all the gun channels saying the NFA is over. We're going to have this, we're going to have that, promising something they couldn't possibly deliver because none of them bothered to read through the entire judgment and weren't really
No,
qualified to make that decision or assessment one way or the other. But people heard what they wanted to hear, you know.
yeah, which is why I prefaced everything we talked about the weekend where this happened with maybes and ifs. I did not come out and concretely say, yeah, you can go ahead and make a damn SBR now. Why? Because nobody had the full ruling yet. We just had a brief statement, the brief part that just gave the final judgment, not the individual, you know, minutia of the ruling. So we didn't. All we had was a preliminary judgment that said
Yeah.
that this is being enjoined, blah 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 blah. But it didn't go into detail. We didn't know. The worst part is we still don't know, and we do have the full judgment now.
Side note, I have been ever since 2020, I believe, I have been an NSSF member because that was kind of a step up in getting admission to SHOT Show when I first got in there. It was highly advised that people who wanted to try to get in become NSSF because they basically run SHOT Show.
Mm-hmm.
So, but this year I have told them I'm not renewing my membership, so it will expire.
Packrat says he thinks the only thing that is sort of safe is suppressors. Not even that, because you got some lawyers saying that if you have a suppressor shipped to someplace else from, say, Silencer Co. or one of the other suppressor companies that's a plaintiff, when it gets to your FFL, they're the ones that fill out the paperwork, not Silencer Co., et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So Do you have to fill out a Form 4 with them or not? We don't know. We still don't know. Even with suppressors, unless you're going into Silencer Co.'s storefront, itself, and buying directly from them. Unless you're going to South Carolina or Georgia or wherever else PSA has a location to buy an SBR from them, we don't know where you have to. What happens when you buy from them and have it shipped to an FFL? Yeah, even suppressors and SBRs and SBSs are on the same front. They're in the same boat right now. The only reason why they were able to get the suppressors where they did was because they went directly into a storefront and bought them. If you would have went to Palmetto State and bought a SBR or an SBS from them, you would have went through the same process that they did getting the suppressors of Silencer Co. It's just that Brandon Herrera lives in Texas. He's running for Congress in Texas. So he, as a publicity stunt, went to Silencer Co. and bought a suppressor without having to register it. No, we didn't have anybody in South Carolina with this big presence on the internet. So nobody went to PSA and videotaped them or recorded themselves buying or live streamed it of them buying an SBR or an SBS from Palmetto State without having to fill out the paperwork. That's that's the difference. That's the only difference between SBRs, SBSs, and suppressors. There's no difference. That's it. No real difference that applies to us. If Night Strike would have decided to go live and show himself buying a SBR from Palmetto State, then we would have been on quasi the same level, same thing. I mean, he doesn't necessarily have the same amount of followers as Brandon Herrera. A better example, if Such would have done it, because I believe he lives in South Carolina. If Such would have went to Palmetto State, made um, arrangements for Palmetto State to be open at midnight so that he could live stream him buying an SBR from them at midnight without having to fill out the NFA paperwork, we would have had the same thing as what you got in Texas with Brandon Herrera and the other guy who I can't remember right now getting the suppressor in Texas. That's the only difference right now is Brandon Herrera and that other guy getting one at midnight or 12:01 in Texas at Silencer Co. Other than that, SBRs, SBSs, and suppressors are in the exact same boat. There's no difference. And we're not getting any information from anybody that's concrete. Yes, I'm aware, Pack Rat. I'm aware. He says Brandon is also an SOT. Yes. Yes, he is. Those of you who don't know, an SOT is somebody who's authorized to manufacture NFA items. So technically speaking, he could have bought it and had it shipped to him and not had to fill out the paperwork anyway. So not the standard paperwork. So yeah, there's that. But he bought this for his personal use, which is different. This it wouldn't be covered under his licensing because it's personal use. If he's closed down his business, anything that he has to go to the government. That one doesn't because he personally owns it. It's a really messed up system. And then he says he has his own store. It was just a stunt. He's fine with it, but it was a stunt. Yeah, but this one isn't store property. This one, the one that he got from at Silencer Co. was personal property, not store property. Like I was just saying, there's a difference between when you're in SOT, FFL, etc. Your personal property and what is property of the store under the licensing. There, it's not the same. So yeah, it's still a stunt. No question about it. It's still a stunt. But it's not stored property. It wasn't the store that bought it. It was he himself. Well, a publicity stunt can be used to make a point, Pack, right? Nobody's denying that it was used. He did it to make a point. It was still a publicity stunt. Um, there's many times throughout history where publicity stunts were done to make a point. It would just be nice to have some clarification that we can actually say, okay, this is set in stone. We know this is how this works. It's been almost 3 weeks. Almost 3 weeks. And we don't have it. A
How
little,
long you think it'll be?
I don't know. Government likes to drag their feet. Hell, I still wouldn't be the least bit surprised if at the last minute they decide that they're going to file the appeal. I'm surprised. No, honestly, I was surprised they said they weren't appealing. Personally, I don't believe them. I won't believe them until what did the letter say? October 5th comes and goes. Yeah, I watched his video earlier, Packrat. Packrat said Mark Smith did a good video today on covering your butt. Yeah. There's another lawyer. I can't think of his damn name now, but he's the one. I got the letter from the attorneys general because he's the only one I saw mention it, and it was a week after the fact. I'll be damned if I can remember his name right now, but he's a defense attorney who used to be a prosecutor. But he does uh, firearms violation defense. He handles firearms violation cases, and he was saying the same. He basically was saying the same thing. You got to cover your butt. Can't take any of these people serious at this point because nobody knows what's what. And you have people putting, yeah, he's like, you got lawyers on one side saying one thing, you got lawyers on the other side saying the other thing. And he's like, as an attorney, I don't know who to believe at this point. He's like, he's like, I'm telling my clients right now, if they ask me, don't do anything because we don't know. Yes, that's it, Pack Rat. Thank you. That is who I'm talking about. It's absolute insanity right now. And the worst part, we're all sitting here waiting for a decision from the branch of government that everybody always complains about. You know, the one that people make jokes, ATF should be a convenience store. Um, yeah, Washington gun law are good too. Pack Rat. But the other one I've heard talk about the Attorney General letter that we went over earlier is Tom Greaves. He's the only one I've seen have a video on that. I believe he put his out. I believe he put that video out yesterday. A week later. He also had a statement from the West Virginia Attorney General, but I searched for it. I couldn't find it because I was going to use that to, as a counter to the other attorney generals, but attorneys general, but I couldn't find the statement. We've been joined by Guns and Barbecue. Are you there? Blind Guy Photography. You're muted, Barbecue, if you are. Yeah. This doesn't let me unmute. No, I can mute, but I can't unmute. You there? If you're saying anything, can't hear you.
Seriously?
Hello.
Oh, now
There
we
you
can.
go.
Now you can.
I hope I'm not lagging. My computer's running really slow for some reason.
I don't know. Say something when I quit talking. 1, 2, 3.
3, 2,
Okay, you're good.
1.
You're good.
Sweet. So, on the Brendan Herrera stuff, while it may have been a publicity stunt, I think there's a couple great takeaways here. One, as mentioned before, he has an SOT. So this is an FFL that went a little bit further, got his SOT. 2, sitting congressman.
Well, not yet. Not yet.
Oh,
Won the primary. He hasn't gone to the general election yet.
oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, potentially sitting congressman. 3, the guy put his money where his mouth is. He didn't have to do that. Publicity stunt or not, another
Oh yeah.
administration comes in, depending on how all this goes, it could very seriously blow up in his face. But now, with him doing it in such a public manner as well,
Mm-hmm.
it gets to be a case of, hey, AFT, why'd you target Joe Blow, but not Brandon Herrera?
Mm-hmm.
Although I do have one question.
Mm.
They did that like right at the stroke of midnight, right?
1201.
So here's the problem. That would mean they ran the 4473 before midnight.
No, they started the paperwork at 1201. All the paperwork. They didn't run anything until 1201 when the injunction went in place.
All right, so when did they hand him the suppressors and say, these are yours? Congratulations.
It was after 12:01. I don't know the exact
because I thought it was
Yeah,
done.
because
Like,
they did a whole live stream from start to finish.
okay, I didn't catch that part.
Yeah.
I was under the impression that they were like, "Hey, time has passed. Here you go." And I was thinking to myself, like, if they did that, it technically means they ran that before. Which, I mean, I guess it really doesn't. Well, no, it would matter because there's a stay still in place. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the sale itself was not completed until after 12:01. So they were within the confines of the injunction. Yeah, Packrat said there was a sitting congressman that bought one at the same time as Brandon. Yeah, I just don't remember who the hell it was. Another congressman from Texas, I believe. Though I don't think you have to be from given state to buy a suppressor. No, I think it was. No, it wasn't from Texas. It was that one guy from Georgia. What the fuck's his name?
the governor?
No, Clyde.
Not governor.
Representative Clyde. I believe
Yes.
it's the other one that was. Can't remember his first name. His last name's Clyde.
Bonnie.
That would be hilarious, wouldn't it? Congresswoman Bonnie Clyde. But especially if her middle name was Ann. Bonnie Ann Clyde.
Right? Somebody's going to pop up on Gizzard's show tomorrow with that. Watch.
Probably.
Probably you.
Mm-hmm.
Denny says a few YouTubers did the same. Yeah, but none went to PSA and bought an SBR. That's the crazy part. You know, if I lived in South Carolina or Georgia near where Palmetto State is and had the money, I'd be there buying an SBR. Like Such, man, that would have been a perfect opportunity for Such. He lives in South Carolina. He could have been at PSA buying an SBR or an SBS. And again, just because I said it was a publicity stunt, I also said there have been good publicity stunts. Not all publicity stunts are bad. So I just want to clarify that. In case you weren't listening when I said that part, barbecue. But, yeah, publicity stunts can be used to, like, forget who it was said he did it to prove a point. Yeah, Packrat said then I agreed with him. Yeah, there have been numerous publicity stunts throughout the ages that have been done to prove a point. It's one way to get a lot of cameras on you at one time is to do a publicity stunt of some form or another. Yeah, Wood said you could fill out the paperwork, but it couldn't be processed until after. Yeah. Wood says Such would need to get paid. And Packrat says, it depends, Woods. If it was on paper, yes. Electronic, no. And being that it was at Silencer Co., it probably would have been electronic because they have the electronic kiosk machines that they use. Yeah. Denny says Smith & Wesson jumped out real quick with their new SBR and 300 blackout. It was already up, but they started advertising it big time. Yeah, I got all kinds of emails about that. Would say, just don't hit submit. True, true. I mean, yeah, you can have the paperwork filled out beforehand as long as, but it's only a 4473, so you're not transmitting that to the government. And if you live in a state where you don't have to go through the background check because you have your concealed carry license. But it would still have to be the completion of the sale. Money would have to change hands and everything. Somebody's not happy. I'm getting really sick and tired of these goddamn cats. Then he says, okay, can't keep my eyes open. Night, folks. See you tomorrow night on Giza Show. Okay, have a good night, Denny. Say good night to Denny, guys. Jeez.
Night, Denny.
Night Strike could have went and used his gun tube money to do it. Like he did from the CMP with the certain rifle.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Packrat says electronic would have a timestamp, but if you use the kiosk, it stores your information from previous sales. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they didn't start the sales process until after they started the video. He was the first person, at least in that store. Anyway, there's no way to know what was going on around the country at that time period, because there were a lot of stores that were staying open late that night for that purpose. But well, certain places anyway, and selling to certain customers. Still want to know how they're going to verify members of the organizations. I still think the easiest way is when you get your license renewal or something, you present your membership card and they just put it on your ID. Like they do if you're a veteran, you show them your veteran paperwork and they put veteran on your license or photo identification.
So what if you become a member long enough to get it and then you don't renew the next year?
Nobody's answered that question, so I don't know. I guess you keep your
It shouldn't
receipt.
matter.
Well, but it will. Somebody's going to get in
I don't
trouble
know. Let's
for
say
it.
because it says present and future. It doesn't say anything about having to retain that for the rest of your life.
I guarantee you that there's going to be somebody that's going to be a test case for it.
And all they'd have to do is prove that they were a
Oh,
member.
I'm well aware what they would of all that. That's why I said he probably had like shit, I forgot his name again. The other lawyer I was talking about, not Mark Smith, but the other one was saying, keep all of your paperwork. Tom Greaves, was saying in the video I watched that he put out, I believe it was yesterday, he put the video out. Keep all of your paperwork. And I think Mark Smith may have said it too. Keep all your paperwork, all your receipts of everything.
Well, it's not a bad thing to do, anyways.
No, but especially keep it all in one folder so you have it. Your GOA membership receipt. If you're Texas, Rifle Association, if you're using that as your way around this, you keep your receipt of that membership. Keep receipt. Make a copy of your membership card and keep that in the folder.
I still think that requiring anybody to prove that they're a member of any of these organizations is going to be ludicrous in general. Like, right now with a 4473, I understand the reason that they require ID. It's 4473. It's bullshit. I get it. but you don't just get to hand over a fucking library card for your 4473. It's got to be a government issued ID.
Right.
So how is it that all of a sudden an ID from one of these organizations is going to meet government standards?
I guess that's why I said it might come down to something like what I was saying with how if you take your veterans paperwork, you show it at the DMV, they run it, and if it comes back, you get your little veterans endorsement on your license or photo ID. It might come down to something like that. You go to the DMV, you show your membership criteria for the organization you belong to, and they put it on your ID. I don't know.
That's not going to be possible because most state IDs are good for minimum 4 years.
I know.
Then, unless you've opted into a 5-year membership, like some of these organizations have, then you're joined for a year, but your ID says that you're a member for 4 years. That's not going to be accurate. Likewise, what state is going to go, yep, we're going to add that process to our identifications?
Okay, Woods is saying future customers could literally be anyway. Future means you haven't bought anything yet. Yeah, future only applies. You have to be a member at the time you purchase. That is clearly spelled out. You have to be a member at the time you purchase. So if you want to go and buy an SBR, but you're not a member of the GOA yet, you can sign up the morning that you go to buy it. As long as you have that receipt showing that your payment was made to GOA, you're covered at
Yes,
that point.
the reason they put future was to distinguish that, just because you might be a member now, or in this case, not a member, doesn't mean that in the future this doesn't apply to you, because then that would potentially cause catastrophic damage to any memberships that are happening. And more importantly, it was more directed for the businesses at that point. If you weren't a current customer, what good was it then? That's why they added the future portion,
Right.
because the point is be able to buy it in the future still.
Yeah. Wood says PSA future customers. Yeah, if you go to PSA and you buy one, you're a future customer of them, because if you're planning on doing it tomorrow, you're going to be a future customer. You're covered at PSA anyway, so it doesn't matter because PSA is one of the covered plaintiffs.
Except for the fact that Woods is in Washington.
Yeah. So I said if he were to go, well, he can
Poor
go
feller.
buy a long gun at PSA. An SBR technically is a rifle, would qualify as a long gun.
Yeah.
So he could go to PSA in South Carolina and purchase one.
But I'm pretty sure Washington still has stuff against
I don't know if they
just
do or not.
NFA items in general.
I don't know if they do or not.
I say, because like here in PA, it's really convoluted with some of the court rulings that have happened, as recent as 2022. And I'm still debating on just going and form wanting a few things, because if this comes back, well, let's say they go, hey, no more registration, blah blah blah. Let's say it made it all the way up to the Supreme Court. Like, nope, these don't have to be registered anymore. This is a violation, et cetera, et cetera. With the way PA law is written, it's a really big gray area. It's essentially like, as long these are legal as long as you're in compliance with the registration requirements of the NFA. But if you remove the NFA registration requirement, now what?
Yeah. Woods is saying it's completely unenforceable. It's really not. If you buy from PSA, you either have your receipt and show them, or they run your 4473 with whichever division branch of PSA you purchase from. If they go to the one that you say that you purchased from and they don't have an 4473 on you, you're in trouble. That's if you're not a member of one of the organizations that would clear you. Talking just PSA purchase, no other mitigating factor that would allow you to do it without registration. It would be totally enforceable. That's one of the reasons why they have 4473s, is to run checks on firearms at a location that you say you purchased it at.
So I did have a thought, because you had mentioned, Rich, you wouldn't be surprised if they waited till the last hour of the 60 days to make the appeal.
Mm-hmm.
What if they're doing that strategically so we can get as many of these in the hands of the public as possible? That way, when they get challenged again, because they're going to, then they can also go, whoa, 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 whoa. You know how many of these are out there now?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Common use.
Common use, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's entirely possible.
I mean, I realize I'm giving the government a lot of credit here, especially, talking like them being pro-gun and being in favor of our rights for once. But right now, this Department of Justice, this ATF, has been pretty friggin' awesome up to this point. And I really have trouble not seeing them appeal this. And I think, honestly, it's going to be more detrimental to us if they don't.
That's
but
the way I see it.
Like I said, what if they really are, I hate this term, but playing some 4D chess, where they're like, you know what, we're going to let as many of these flood, because once they make that appeal, they can file for a new injunction.
And they can
And
file for a new stay, you mean?
Yeah, sorry. Excuse me. Thank you. File for a new stay, and chances are that will be granted. And at that point, you've got 60 days of freedom, and then that was it. Until this goes up to the 3-judge panel. And after the 3-judge panel, probably an en banc panel, depending on how the 3-judge panel goes and if they want to appeal that.
3-judge panel with the Fifth Circuit's more than likely going to rule in our favor.
Exactly.
At that point, it's done. If they wouldn't have, if they're doing it for the reasons that you stated, which, by the way, is my opinion as well. I'm right with you on that. The 3-judge panel, they wouldn't have to appeal it anymore, and then boom, that's nationwide at that point. And all this nonsense that we're talking about goes away.
I know, but I'd still rather have the en banc panel, just because there's just that little asterisk,
Mm-hmm. There's another thing too. I forget which one of the YouTube lawyers it was that said this, but there were over 100,000 SBRs registered during the pistol rule. At what point is something considered to be in common use?
Well, if you go by Katano, that'd be 200,000.
There was something like 150,000, I think it was, that were registered.
Here's the problem. Back when they did the brace crap and said a bunch of AR pistols and other pistol firearms that are braced are now SBRs, I was like, well, right there, you just, because by the ATF's own admission, there's at least 3 million braced pistols that would become SBRs. If you listen to the industry, it was upwards of 10 million. I'm like, boom.
Yeah.
Argue Miller.
We can already argue Miller. We can already argue Miller, because we can argue Miller on machine guns, SBRs, SBSs,
100%.
and any other weapon, and suppressors.
100%. But my point was, they could argue.
Hold on to that thought real quick. For those, I want to explain Miller. For those of you who don't know Miller, Miller's ruling was against SBSs at the time, because they weren't used by the military. The decision in Miller stated that any weapon that is in common use by the military, and it didn't specify U.S. military, it could be any military, is subject to the Second Amendment and cannot be regulated by the government. The reason why they said SBSs weren't covered under that at the time was because no military was using short-barreled shotguns.
Correct.
Okay, go ahead, Barbecue.
So, and that's why I say, like, they could have used Miller, They could have used Heller. They could have used NYSERDA v. Bruin. I'm not sure if McDonald would have fallen into that argument, but there's a ton of Supreme Court precedents. And then the Catano comes in of common use, because now, even like I said, even if we went with the bare minimum of the ATF submission of $3 million, that blows 200,000 out of the friggin' water, and everybody sat on it. I preached that for friggin' months.
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir. I brought up Miller numerous times.
Although there's something that intrigued me, and I don't remember who I was watching. This was a week or so ago. They were talking about some sort of military doctrine where something else that kind of mentioned, like, yeah, if it's military, no bueno. And I was like, what's this? I've never heard of this. And I cannot find it to save my life. Because I was like, well, that goes directly against Miller, which, you know, wouldn't be the first time that sitting Supreme Court, not saying that this Supreme Court in general, but at that time it would have been a sitting Supreme Court, whenever that was put into some opinion or dissent, perhaps, I don't know, would have then contradicted a previous Supreme Court. I mean, it does happen. So,
yeah, it does.
But
the Supreme Court does overturn itself. Perfect example is the Roe v. Wade situation.
Yes. Which even that, you know, people say that the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. Yes, but not entirely. They just said, no, this is a states' rights issue, and kicked it back down to the states.
Which is what it should have been from the beginning. Which Roe didn't completely take it out of the hands of the states. Show of hands, anybody know what Roe actually said? Anybody?
No, never looked into it.
First trimester. After the first trimester, the states can regulate it however they wanted.
Gotcha.
That was it. And it also said that if the legislature, small L, not big L, there's a legal precedent here that's important. Little L means any legislature. Okay? Big L, that's referring to Congress. Little L was in Roe v. Wade. If the legislature at any time should determine when life begins, at that point, the 14th Amendment applies, and abortion would be outlawed from that point. Which is why you saw all the pro-lifers trying to push life begins at conception, because if that would have passed,
then it would have outlawed
Wade
it completely.
Is shot. Yeah, boom, and Roe v. Wade would have been done. Wouldn't even been a discussion at that point.
So, to keep the waters from being muddy, let's continue on 2A stuff. Where were we? Besides,
I
had mentioned this military doctrine thing that I heard one of the YouTube attorneys talking about, and it, you know, kind of implied, like, yeah, you know, if it's military arm, no bueno, no for you. And I was like, you know, that's contradictory to Miller. Granted, Miller doesn't get a lot of respect given all the shenanigans behind it. You know, him just mysteriously dying right before his attorney not showing up. You know, there a lot of real goofy stuff. So, like I said, that one doesn't get a lot of respect, but this, wherever it had mentioned this military doctrine in another decision, I've never heard of this. And like I said, I cannot remember whose channel I was watching, and I cannot find anything on it.
The thing with Miller, even though he died, cert had already been granted, so he doesn't have to be alive anymore at that point.
Yes.
And if the lawyer doesn't show up, the lawyer doesn't show up. I mean, there's not much you can do about that. And since the client of the lawyer was no longer alive to complain about the lawyer showing up, it's a done deal. That's just how it works.
Just very fishy.
Hmm.
Somebody should FOIA stuff on Miller.
If they even got the documentation anymore at this point. That was almost 100 years ago.
That's true, but I say it's amazing what the government still holds on to.
It might be on microfiche in some vault somewhere.
I say there's actually a pretty lengthy YouTube video that I was sent by what the hell is it? Black Sheep Lamont is what he goes by now. He used to be Cobalt Flame, but it was about Miller in that case, and he still has surviving family in Oklahoma. I say he's a very intriguing character.
Well, the family aren't the ones that have to file it. It's public. It's public record.
Oh yeah,
Anybody can
no,
file
I'm just
for it.
saying that he still has surviving family. Is all. Like, I wasn't saying like they need to file anything. Just that he still has a bloodline. But like I said, very intriguing character. Former mob guy turned on the mob to be an informant. Then that's the rumor is the mob had him whacked before his case went to the Supreme Court. I'm like, that's really convenient.
It's also possible.
Oh, 100% possible. I think it's also 100% possible that the government went, hey, you don't like him and we need him whacked. And they went, done.
Well, especially then under the...
Yeah.
That would have been the Roosevelt FDR administration. I wouldn't put it past them one bit.
I'm saying to cut deals back then with the mob to be like, yep, we'll turn the eye for you and we'll target all your enemies and, you do us this way. Like, yeah, no. There is shady shit going down all over the place back then.
Mm-hmm. Remember, it's just now coming out, going back to Woodrow Wilson, that for the last 2 years of his term, his wife was making all the decisions.
Holy
he had a
shit.
stroke.
You guys hear that?
Mm-hmm.
That wind?
No, that's the thunderstorm outside.
Oh, thunderstorm. I was going to say it's either wind or a thunderstorm.
That one was
chance.
fucking impressive. The whole place shook.
Yeah. Ron says it sounds like the French Foreign Legion's work.
Yep, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Packer said he believes someone has the... I think he meant Miller. He said type Mueller case, and it's been published. Yeah, but Barbecue's talking about all the little things that didn't make it into the official record.
Yes.
All the little pieces of evidence and everything that they would have had. That would require a FOIA request. Who knows? You get your results back and it'd be redacted.
Right.
It looked like my father-in-law's military record. Every other page fully redacted. I explained that one to you, right? Why it's like that. Like, yeah. Yeah, he starts telling us shit on his deathbed. He's like, I'm dying anyway. What the hell do I care?
Yeah, he's like, they can't kill me now.
He's in hospice. He's like, what are they going to do to me? I'm dying. He's like, you're former military. You'll understand. Like, oh, great. That's what I want to know.
Plug your ears. Go, la, 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 la. I can't hear this. I can't hear this.
I can't hear. The best part is, my goddamn clearance was still active at that time, too. When I was discharged, they never canceled my clearance. So he could tell me all that shit anyway, and it wouldn't... When you go into communications, you got to have a top secret or better clearance because of what you're going to hear over those radio waves and other communications devices. My clearance was still active. I'm wondering if that had something to do with it too. You know what I mean?
Right.
They didn't. I got out. I was discharged in '99, right? They didn't cancel my clearance until I got my damn VA award in 2018.
Wow.
Yeah. It's like, I found out because they sent me a letter saying that your security clearance is no longer active. I was like, huh? That should have been canceled out 19 years, excuse me, prior to that. It's like, okay, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut and not say a word. Just in case. Yeah, like, yeah, this is all real official, like letter, stationery. And they're like, oh boy. I'm wondering if they didn't realize somehow that I was discharged until I got my VA disability monetary award anyway.
Whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah,
Something
something
ain't
ain't
right.
right.
And they yell to the back, Carl, God damn it, you did it again. He's like, what?
You forgot to cancel out this guy's security clearance. Oops.
You should have demanded back pay then.
Mm-hmm. If they wouldn't give you the back pay, you want to be able to be privy to everything that you would have been able to learn at that time of being cleared still.
Ain't like I knew anything anyway, so it doesn't matter. I cannot give you any. I can't give you nuclear launch codes or anything if you're out there listening, so don't ask. I do not know them.
So if you have a security clearance, can you still be wrong?
It happens quite frequently in the military, so I would assume yes. Anyway, what the hell were we talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There was a story a couple of months ago on the military front where Trump was going to do an executive order or something which allowed the military to have their 2A rights back on base. I don't know how many people out there know
I
this.
could get behind that.
If you're in the military, you cannot carry on base. At least you couldn't, but you can now get, I believe you can now get a permit just like you would from the state to carry on base. I believe I got something. Being a disabled veteran, I have military base access. I believe I got something in my email from the exchange about that a few months ago too, where I can apply for a military base carry permit. So I've thought about getting it one if it so. Yeah. Because as of right now, I can't carry on a military base.
So what's your bracket on tonight, Rich?
I do not have a bracket. We've already been
You
going for almost 2 hours just talking about the stuff that I did have.
you failed.
Stop Foss this morning.
Foss went 3.5 hours. Suck it.
I did 6.5 last week. Shut up.
Doesn't count. That was last week.
Still
This is
no
this week.
bracket.
Stop living in the past.
That's just because you were fawning over Candace Owen.
I was going to say Candace Owens is a bracket in and of herself.
Rich listens to the Divinals. I touch myself while he looks at Candace Owen.
Oh, God, I hate that song. And it was constantly on MTV when it came out. It was like, you couldn't get away from it. It was like, oh my God, stop with this shit. Grim says he totally missed Foss's show today. He's bummed.
You missed a great one. You did. G-Webs and I said bad words to each other. No, I'm lying. We didn't do that.
Yes, you would.
Oh, we have in the past, but we didn't do
Oh, I
it this
know.
time.
I've been there. You and I have said bad words to each other. So have me and G-Webs. So, yeah.
Let's say you and I have said bad words to each other multiple times, many occasions, on many different people's shows.
Mm-hmm. Gary's might be one of them.
Gary's has been one at least once, maybe twice. Normally it was Rick's Life as I See It. Sometimes your show.
Did we ever get into a fight on Rick's? I don't remember ever getting in a fight on Rick's.
Oh, yeah, we did several times on Rick's.
I honestly don't have any recollection of getting in an argument with you on Rick's. Night Strike I had.
What? He's outside. Oh, crap. Is it raining? I don't think so. Go grab it real quick. If you can. Don't let the dog out.
I don't know why, but when the bump stock thing was a thing, Night Strike just could not get through his thick head that the Fifth Amendment did not apply.
How was he thinking that the Fifth Amendment applied with bump stocks?
He was trying to apply the eminent domain clause.
Oh. Eminent domain, that works for the government.
Yeah. He's trying to apply it that they owe him money.
I don't get to go to my neighbor or anybody and be like, yeah, this piece of property now mine by eminent domain. You don't like it? Suck it.
No, he was trying the part where they got to pay you for your property.
Oh.
It's like, dude, he's like, real property. I was like, dude, do you know what real property is? It's not a bump stock. Real property,
real property.
Real property you would know today as real estate. Back then they called it real property.
Why they're called realtors.
Mm-hmm.
What? I got some fruit. You get strawberries. You get 5 strawberries.
It's like one day he was like, I just read the whole thing. I was like, dude, it doesn't matter what you read because you misconstrue what you read.
No, it's not even that he misconstrued it. He just
he misconstrued it because he didn't read the whole thing. He was cherry picking what he was reading.
Yeah, but if he's saying, well, the Fifth Amendment should apply, the government didn't put in there, the Fifth Amendment applies in this manner, blah, blah, blah. No, that's him saying, well, we should be able to do this to fight it and, get at least reimbursement, et cetera, et cetera.
He skipped the entire part of it that discussed public use. Which is, if you take away the part where it's talking about public use, then it looks like he had a case. That if the proper government takes your property, then they owe you money. But the public use parts where it mentions the real property and having to be taken for public use, meaning a roadway, a dam, a bridge, something along those lines. You get the idea. He skipped that entire part and just went to the part where the government had to pay him money and said, see, that shows that they got to pay me money for it.
It's kind of like in firearms training where he skipped the part about how to hit targets and stuff like that. But
the part where you're learning how to take apart in 1911 where it says don't cut yourself on the mainspring housing.
The only person I know would have to go to the ER because he cut himself cleaning in 1911.
And it was his own dumb fault because he put it together upside down or something.
Well, why was he upside down when he was trying to work on his 1911? That's kind of silly.
I don't know. You'd have to ask him. It sounds like a Groucho Marx thing. I cut myself putting together my 1911 upside down. Why I was upside down, I don't know.
I will say, while I like to fuck with Night Strike, I cannot do it while he is not here.
He's never here, so
He's never
I know.
here. He never shows up anymore.
it's all right. He don't watch my show either.
Ron Wayne's asking anything from the post yet. What's he talking about?
The post office? It's closed today.
Yeah. I don't know which way we're going to be going. I'm starting to yawn my head off. Friday or Saturday? No, I haven't gotten anything. What else we got? Anything?
The bracket.
I don't have a bracket.
You pussy. Oh, shit. Sorry for anybody out there that might have small ears listening. I do apologize.
I think Ron Wayne knows better than the. We don't necessarily
Let
always
his kid listen to you. Yes.
Why? Because you called him a small kitten? I mean, oh,
Now, he might let Mini Wayne listen.
that's why I have something coming to my PO box. Okay, now I get. I was going to say, who's sending something to my PO box? Now, good. I got to go to the post office anyway tomorrow. So.
Yeah, I don't have to go to the post office. Our mail gets delivered right here. You used to have a PO box.
I get mail here, and I get mail at the PO box.
It's been a few years since I had a post office box.
That's for the business.
Yeah, I probably should get one, but I don't do enough business anymore. Nobody wants to send me anything anymore. It's like, fuck you people too.
Well, for what it costs for a PO box anymore, for a tiny little box, it's like $100 now.
Ron says, no, my youngling is not in the room. He's learned his friends by now. Yeah. Some of us have potty mouths.
I do try and watch it. I do.
I know, I do too, but every so often something will slip. It's like,
I say,
it's all
but
guns and barbecue's fault. We used to be able to allow our kids in here.
It is. I'll take full blame. I'm gonna say I think it was Sarge. It might have been Gunsnob, but one of them made a great analogy. The one time that my filter is like putting a fishing net in a stream. Like, yeah, it's gonna catch some stuff, but most everything is getting through.
and I got to defend barbecue with my show. It is not his fault. It's Black Cat and Gunpowder.
I have met people that's got far less of a filter than barbecue.
Black Cat, especially if he's been drinking.
Oh, I know some people in my personal life that you just cringe if anybody you know is around them. It's like, no, let's not stop and talk to him because I know it's not going to go well.
Ever been backstage at in the ER when there's no patients around?
No, I've never worked at an ER.
Yeah, they you would think you're on a Navy vessel.
Oh yeah, nurses.
Oh yeah, nurses, aides, doctors. Some of the jokes they tell. Oh my! I'm not even going to because I'll get a strike from YouTube.
I worked at a computer help desk, and the things we'd say about some other callers when after the phone was hung up, that's a whole different story.
Then you hear, "Excuse me,
oh
I'm
my
still
God,
here."
do you believe he said that? Oh, well, that happened once or twice. He thought you had the phone hook.
And you just hang up. Whoops. Oh, this is perfect. Oh my God, this is so perfect. Yes. Hold on. Can I screen share on Rumble?
Yes.
Give me a second. A second. Is Ron Wayne still out there? Mr. Wayne, if you're out there,
He
please let us
does
know.
appear to be.
Excellent.
It does appear to be, yes.
Let me
He
see if I can
says,
figure out.
it's fine.
How do I screen share on Rumble?
Okay.
There's
You're
a
on your
button.
computer?
Well, yeah. He doesn't have God rights like I do. So.
No. But you're on your computer, right?
Yes.
Okay. Right down below where you're at, there's what looks like a itty bitty little monitor with an arrow on it, right next to the symbol of the person with the plus sign. You want to hit that monitor button.
He's giving the blind guy visual directions.
Well, there's no other way. I told him it's like right below him.
Right below me, there's a white bar.
You got 3 buttons.
Nope.
Not there. I'm talking about on the screen where all 3 of us are at with the background and everything. Right below you from there to your right, and a little bit to your right, there's 3 circle buttons. You want the first one.
Yeah, I don't
on
see
the
that.
left. It looks like a little monitor with an arrow pointing up.
I'm looking. Wait. There's not 3 circle buttons. I will say that.
It's 3 circles on my screen.
Well, you probably have more abilities than I do.
1, 2, 3 circles. Yeah.
Yeah, I told you,
Well,
Rich. We're special.
Yeah. But you found it?
I did.
Okay.
But now, there's the thing. I think. Yep.
Here's your sign.
Excellent. Nope. Yep. Quick.
Pack Rat's going to bed.
Yeah, I was about
He
to say,
took too long for Pack Rat. He said, "Screw these guys. I'll go to bed." That's what she said.
Pack Rat's going out while he's ahead. He's number 1 on the.
He's a smart one of the bunch, I tell you.
This is perfect.
Let's get ready, you guys.
Yeah.
Let's say, because Mr. Wayne was feeling like we were a little biased Thursday night with my bracket. And I said I was going to make this, and Gary, I think this is the one. And you know what I'm talking about.
We came out with a lot of those kind of things that you needed to do on Thursday night.
Well, there was a few, but this is the one that I vividly remember. I think I'm going to go and have it change the lighting a little bit, but other than that, I'm loving this.
Ba, 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 ba.
You have to let me know if Ron or Mister say anything.
Yes, he says, in other words, he laughed.
Excellent. Should ask Ron if he has a favorite one at any of the ones that I did.
Well, ask him out there.
It's almost like he could hear you ask.
I know.
He could, but I don't want to take over Rich's show. This isn't about me.
He says he needs that one. He needs a copy of that one.
Hold on. Let me. This is so much better already. The only prompt I gave it was to change the lighting to appear as if it was golden hour.
It makes the whale or orca stand out a little better.
It does.
There go the cats again. One of these days, I'm going to end up in jail for killing all these darn cats.
None of us are that lucky. Like, seriously, you're gonna rid the world of a bunch of cats and get yourself in jail where we don't have to hear from you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the thing. What dreams are made of? Come on, don't stop teasing everybody.
Ron says the swimming with the dolphins one broke him.
What's that?
Ron said the swimming with the dolphins one broke him.
I won't lie, I was pretty smitten with the one where they're tubing. I really enjoyed that one for some reason.
Mm-hmm. You know, Ron hasn't mentioned a thing about Charlie there in the corner. He may have gotten over his issue with Cardinals.
I thought about giving the whale, the orca in this image, giant eyes. Is it the giant eyes, Ron, that bug you out, or is it just cardinals in general? That's another reason that I like the tubing one so much, was that friggin' seagull that I put on the rail of the pontoon boat.
Mm-hmm. No, he lives in the wrong state if he's afraid of Cardinals, because Cardinal is the state bird of Kentucky and West Virginia, so bordering states. Yeah, for those of you who weren't out there earlier, beginning of the show, I said I decided that the Cardinals' name is Charlie, and he's the official channel mascot. That's why he's on the screen.
Are you gonna make that a new channel logo now? You should.
No, it's not it's not a channel logo. It's just a channel thing. Kind of like how Ron has Mini Wayne, only Charlie doesn't talk.
You can always rebrand. You know, you should have a Cardinal channel. Ooh, Charlie the Cardinal channel. It's kind of like
like George Grayson Cat Channel.
may or may not be a thing.
But notice how it doesn't
YouTube
have the white.
channel, X account,
Yeah,
Facebook account,
yeah, but notice it doesn't.
Instagram account.
Yeah, but you notice it doesn't have the white background anymore. I fixed it. It's right now. It would have a white square right now if I wouldn't have fixed it, and it just didn't look right. So I took a couple minutes before I invited you guys in here even to fix that.
About time.
So it looked better. I mean, you were absolutely right. It did look good on Gary's show the other night because of the white circle. But with it on here, it didn't look right because it was this big white square behind it.
Well, that's because
barbecue. Here's what you need to do.
What?
Get AI to take a picture of a cardinal, you know, in the Vatican, and his cardinal with a big eye.
Oh, I could just take my Alice Cooper Pope picture and just give him giant eyes.
Mm-hmm. Well, you got to put the red outfit on him so he's a cardinal, and
we could do that.
Funky hat.
Okay. He says Charlie's okay. Charlie doesn't bother him. I still can't. Speaking of Ron's range, I still can't find what the hell Amy did with my goddamn targets. I've looked all over the damn place. I'm starting to get pissed off. I was going to decorate it and everything. don't know where the hell it's at.
Wake her up right now and say, "Woman, where are my targets?"
Oh, she keeps saying, I'll help you find them. Yeah, I'm still waiting.
That'd be great entertainment if you did that right now. Just woke her up.
I don't feel
Hey,
like getting
Rich.
shot. She's upstairs in the room that most of the guns are.
Wait, there we go. Hey, Rich.
Huh?
Your email, is it still kaleidoscope1943
Never was.
at hotmail.com?
I never was. I've never had a Hotmail account.
Strange.
And Ron's asking, gee, Rich, how do you lose a target? Amy, that's how. She can
Nice.
lose anything. I mean, it's amazing the things that she has lost over the years. No joke. It's like,
You give all your targets to your wife to put away? Is that it?
no, she just moves shit and then forgets where the hell she puts things.
You should move some of her stuff.
You should.
Say, when you find my targets, I'll let you know where your hairdryer is.
She has curly hair. She doesn't use a hairdryer. She uses a hairdryer and her hair gets so frizzed out, it's unreal.
All right, that email has been sent. Well, in the process of sending, at least, to Ron, Gary, and Rich White. Maybe. What the hell's going on?
I don't know. Justin says, look in places you'd never imagine they would be, and that's where a woman will put them. I am missing 4 fully loaded AR-15 magazines. I don't know where the hell she put them.
They're in the spare tire compartment.
Don't have a spare tire compartment. The Mavericks is underneath the bed.
I figured out what was going on. I forgot to put in a subject.
Ah. Yeah, sometimes it
And,
doesn't let you send an email if you don't put a subject.
well, I could have if I just hit OK. Or I could go back and put a subject. So in the subject, you will all see it says, I forgot a subject.
Okay.
Well, now it has a subject.
Mm-hmm. Ron says, make it fun, like a scavenger hunt. She'd love that. Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
I got the email.
Especially with her sense of humor. Yep, I got it.
Excellent.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I told it to make it more dramatic. Really, really brings it to life. So there you go, folks. Now you're going to have to tune on to Giz Gary show for Gorn or Ron Wayne's show for him to show it to see what the final product is. Probably like, what, 3 people watching?
No, there's more than that.
Ron Wayne's probably the only one. Well, Grimm's out there.
We've got 4 on Rumble, 7 on YouTube, and so yeah, and 2 it looks like on X. Two on X, be my guess. Showing 7-4, but a total of 13. So Falcon Rumble's still out there.
I will be right
And
back,
Aiden is
gentlemen.
over on X. I mean Rumble rather. Excuse me. I can't see X chat, so that'll be
Rumble X.
yeah. There's nobody saying anything over on X. But yeah, there's 2 on X. So,
Because they can't. They have to pay to say anything on there.
yeah, true. True. Wow. X stopped
What?
after 3 minutes 23 seconds. Unless there's another. Hold on. That'd be the previous one. Where's the new one?
Might have been.
There it is. I
I
found it.
don't know.
For some reason, when I clicked on it, it opened the old one, not
I
the
don't
actual
know.
current one. Still says 2 viewers on X. Ron says he got it, and it's truly breathtaking.
It's glorious.
Glorious Mrs. Wade. Now we know Misty's not out there lurking, or she would have said something like "darn it, Rich" or something like that.
Ron already got in trouble once today, so you gotta be careful.
Uh-oh.
Oh, golly.
What did you do, Ron? What did you do? I really do like this little Hogue automatic.
You should get two of them.
If I had another $150, I would.
Get on a credit card.
My credit cards are almost maxed out.
Get another credit card.
I got a couple. Trust me. Rich.
They're always sending you stuff wanting to send you new credit cards.
Yeah. I don't need any more.
So I can't.
I wish you could use credit cards to pay off credit cards. That'd be awesome.
Ron Two Metter says he sent you an email.
What do you do? Oh, he sent me this. Oh, he put it. Oh, he put the name on there. Okay. He put. So I'm. All right. Yeah, I'll have to modify that later to get rid of the white square. But yeah, that'll work. Let me show you. That's what he did. He put the Charlie nameplate on there. Charlie's got it. Officially got his name. Oh, let me move out of the way. See? Now it's got the official name. Now it's got to get rid of the white background so that it shows up. But that's easy to do. It's not a problem.
Yep, that's easy to do. If you got the right program.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Ron 2A Mutters. Those of you who don't know, he's the one that made Charlie in the first place.
It's his responsibility.
Mm-hmm. He's responsible for Charlie. This one's all me. I did that one. Your favorite one, Ron. To Ron Wayne. There you go. Just
Isn't
for
that
you.
what started all this? Or?
Yes. My Christmas logo. I mean, I don't know why Ron thinks its head looks like it's going to explode. It just looks like a cardinal. I don't
It's like
get
a
it.
fat cardinal.
Got one male and one female. And come spring, there'll be a bunch of little babies. Or something like that. Not sure when they do their mating thing. Anyway, state bird of this state and Kentucky. So Ron Wayne really shouldn't have a problem with cardinals.
I'm going to say you have cardinals around there in the wintertime?
Yeah, we do actually.
Hmm.
The dog likes to go out in the yard and chase them in the winter. Oh, it's just so disturbing. It says the female one looks like the eye's going to pop out and hit him. Okay. Misty likes it. She says it's cute. But then she doesn't like mini wings. You got to wonder about her sometimes, I guess.
Barbecue go to bed?
I don't know. We're coming up on 2 hours, 2.5 hours. That's about normal for the show. Maybe we should start wrapping it up if he's falling asleep.
I'm not falling asleep.
It is 11:30.
I was on fossils long enough that my AirPods were getting ready to die, which usually takes about 3.5, 4 hours.
Last weekend, you kept having to switch on.
Yeah, that's how I get by because the left one always goes down before the right one. So take the left one out and charge it and just stay with one for 15 minutes or so.
Did they take the headphone jack out of MacBooks?
Mm, I don't know about current MacBooks. Mine still has one.
Okay. Well, get yourself a real set of headphones for doing the show. Jeez, man.
I
Not
have
that
some.
expensive.
Headphones are uncomfortable.
Got to get the right set. These ones I got are really comfortable.
Not for a long period of time, they're not.
The hell they're not. I wear these all day.
Yeah, but you're weird.
These are super. Oh, these are super soft. But they're like $180 headphones too.
My ears get hot if I've got on.
That's why I got the
That's
open
why.
back ones.
That's
The
why I
open
don't.
back ones have airflow. They don't. They don't get hot. Seriously, my
It's
ears
like
do not sweat with these.
I don't like wearing Ear Pro at the range for long periods of time because man, that gets hot after a while.
The open back headphones, that they don't get super hot. My
You
old
get out on
Sennheisers,
Thunder on the Prairie where it's like 80 degrees out there, and you're in
yeah,
sweaty headphones all day long.
yeah,
It's miserable.
my old Sennheisers that were the closed back ones, those got hot. These ones with the open back, there's no heat. They do not get hot at all. I can feel the air conditioning on my ears. Like my ear is cold to the touch right now from the air conditioning. And
I
I've had my
learned
headphones on almost all day.
out of Thunder on the Prairie, the best course of action was just take breaks every once in a while. Just every hour or two, just walk up to the walk up to the office because once you get across the road, then you can take your pro off and you can just cool off, get you a drink,
Mm.
take about a 15-minute break, put it back on, come back and shoot. You don't have to be there all day. You
I
get to
forget.
be old, you don't have to, be like the 18-year-old bucks who can just
Mhm.
put up with everything all day. It's like you don't need to impress anybody. If you want to take a break, take a break.
Mhm.
No shame. No shame in my game.
I forget what model Sennheiser these ones are. I'd tell you, but they're real comfortable. They're nice, soft, nicely padded around the ear cup and open back so they don't heat up. Like I said, my ears don't sweat. I just checked. My ear is actually cold to the touch right now from the air conditioning being on. So yeah, my ears do not sweat in these at all. My old ones, the closed back ones, yeah, they did, but not these
You
ones.
don't understand. I'm a decker. We sweat. It's
Oh,
it's
so do
genetic.
I.
My dad was he was sweat like you wouldn't believe it. Be
Oh,
working
so
outside on a
yeah.
car and the sweat would just
Well,
run off of him. Man.
yeah, I get like that. So I completely understand. I get like that. I'll get outside and just start sweating buckets. Like I can be inside if it's warm enough, and I'll just start sweating my ass off.
Nowadays, I remedy that by just not doing anything. I find if you exert very little physical effort, you don't really sweat. That and losing weight helps
It
too.
depends on where you're at.
Oh yeah,
That's because
I stay
just
out in the
sitting
cool.
around Fort Benning, Georgia, when the air conditioning went out. Good Lord, I was sweating my ass off, and I was just sitting there doing nothing.
I was at my friend's house a couple of weeks ago. And we were sitting on her mom's front porch, and there was a breeze, and we were in the shade, but it was 93 degrees. And if you sat there, we were out there for a couple hours, you didn't notice it, but when you got up and walked in the house, all your clothes were just damp. Everything was wet. It's like you didn't really notice it until you went inside. It's like, oh my gosh, I sweated
Mhm.
a lot out here.
All right, fucker, stop talking about me. I'm back.
That time you got back.
Late, late spring, early summer, and area of Columbus, Georgia / Fort Benning, Georgia. You walk outside and you turn around and walk back in. You by the time you get back inside, you look like you goddamn just got out of a shower with your clothes on. You will sweat your ass off in that humidity, which is fun if you're going to basic training that at the same that time period.
I never heard anybody talk about basic training as being fun. Hmm. Must be in the Air Force. Just kidding.
When I was younger, a buddy of mine went in the Air Force. Those motherfuckers had rooms,
Cheer Force.
Mm-hmm.
2 people to a room. I was like, you. I was like, what? I was like, you want to tell me that again? What the hell did you just say? He's like, yeah, man, we had rooms, two men to a room, like, and I was like, I I was done. I was like, that yeah, okay. We had 50 people in a room. This guy's, oh yeah,
It's a lot of ball sweat.
there was 2 people to a room. Like, oh. I thought we were doing good because we had doors on the freaking commodes. This guy's got almost private room.
Almost makes you wonder why the branches are so different in amenities they get.
Well, my uncle, he was telling me when I was in junior RTC about when he went to basic in the Marine Corps. They didn't even have stalls for the commodes. The commodes were just right out in the open.
Right.
That's the way our high school was, at least in the men's and the boys. Is there was three commodes sitting there on a concrete pedestal, and it was just a few feet apart from each other. There was no divider, no nothing there.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Yeah, that's what
showers
he
were
was.
right in front of you in kind
Yeah,
of a semicircle. So
that's what he
everybody
was.
coming
Yeah,
in from gym class would come in
yeah,
and
that's
go
how
by
he
you while
said
you're
the
sitting
Marine Corps
there
was.
doing your business.
I was shocked when I got to Army Basic and we had stalls for the commodes and dividers in the showers. I was like, this ain't nothing like what my uncle was saying.
Yeah, the showers didn't have no dividers either.
No, when I was in high school, they didn't either. Or middle school. Middle school, we didn't have dividers in the showers.
No, well, grade school, we didn't have a middle school per se. Now, when they built the new elementary, which we went into in fourth grade, and it's a brand new building, and all the individual, there were five stalls for the boys' bathroom and five for the girls, and they were all individual units with doors, which was weird because you had a community sink outside and everything, one of those round sinks where you'd step
Mm-hmm.
on a thing and then water would come out in a circle and
Mm-hmm.
everybody'd wash in the same sink. But then there were five individual toilet stalls and they all had individual doors on them with a light. So if you were in there, it's kind of like you were going to confession in a Catholic church. Your little red light would come on above the stall.
Goddamn cats. We had stalls on the toilets and stuff in middle school and high school, but no dividers in the showers.
And really, there was no separate locker room for gym class. I mean, it was all basically a men's bathroom. So people that were going to the game, they had to use the same bathroom. If players got done with the game, they'd come through there, take their showers right in front of the public because
Yeah, we had.
the women, the girls had privacy, of course, but
Mm-hmm.
guys didn't. Yeah.
We had three different locker rooms for guys and three different locker rooms for girls because you had athletics locker room or football, baseball, soccer teams, and then there was the gym locker room, and then you had the visitors locker room for each. Girls obviously it wasn't a football locker room, but basketball, volleyball, that kind of stuff. I don't remember the girls having a softball team when I was in high school. They might have. Don't remember if they did or not.
I don't remember either.
Ron says he sent me three more things.
Uh-oh.
What did he send this time? I only see two pictures here. Oh, jeez. Whoa. This one I gotta share. First, I move everybody off to the side.
What a dick.
That's as big as I can get it, or it starts to. You stupid. Yeah, where'd I put my email? And then we got this one. Jeez, that would just creep Misty out like to no end.
Oh man. Please tell me the third one is Minnie Wayne like just brushing the hair out of her face.
I don't know. That's what's in that email.
Oh, that gave her a face. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be going too far.
Mm-hmm. And look above her head, the Miss Wayne placard on the wall.
Wow.
Trying to read what the hell it says on the wall behind Minnie. Kind heart, fierce mind, brave spirit. Then there's a picture of her on the nightstand.
What's the mug say?
Oh, it says Miss Wayne.
I'm zoomed into 700% right now.
Is it the same background in this one? Yes, same exact back. Okay. So yeah, there's that. Third one, he says he fixed what? Same picture. I don't know what he says he fixed on this one. It's the same picture. What did you change on the Cardinal one, Ron? Because I'm not seeing it.
Show it. Maybe Gearshit and I can see it.
I'm not seeing what he said he fixed. Looks the same to me. I can't tell. Oh, Ron says Misty is watching. So she did see that.
Would so have been better to hear her reaction.
I
Well,
know. And yeah. Oh, I'm sure we can close our eyes and imagine what she said.
is
We've heard
Misty
her
afraid
say
of
things so
clowns?
much about these pictures on their show.
Is Misty afraid of clowns?
I don't know. Is she, Ron?
Because suddenly I just had the idea of like a Minnie Wayne with a clown face.
He says the white background won't show when I use the logo. That's not the problem. The problem wasn't that it showed it on when using his logo on Gary's show. The channel is the problem is here on Rumble Studio. It'll show the whole thing, including the white background. That was an easy fix. I just used the wand tool in a photo editor, and that took it right out. And I just saved it as a PNG. Well, it's not that big a deal, Ron. Honestly, it's real simple, easy to do. You were fine the way it was.
Yeah, you shouldn't do special things like that for Rich. Make him suffer.
Mm-hmm.
See, even he said he agrees.
He says Misty's phone's dead, or she'd be typing. Well, bury it and buy her a new one.
I feel like that gives us our answer.
Mm-hmm. She broke the phone while typing. He's not. Now he's got to buy her a new one. That one's going to have to have a funeral. Mini Wayne can be the minister.
Rich, can you forward that email to me that has the mini Waynes with Misty sleeping?
Yeah, no problem.
I've got a couple ideas.
Forward. Now I gotta remember what your email. I got your email. There it is. All right, it's sent to your Guns and Barbecue email.
Excellent. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Now all I have to do is get really bored one night and can't sleep. And then there will be like a dozen again.
She is not afraid of clowns, he says.
What about
Dang it.
mimes? Nobody likes mimes.
I don't know. I kind of enjoy mimes.
You would.
I don't want to try and figure out what they're doing. I just want to mimic the mime while they're doing their.
Have you ever watched
shtick.
the video of the SeaWorld mime on YouTube?
Can't say I have.
He's always interacting with some cute girl that comes in and stuff. It's hilarious. He does all kinds of goofy stuff. He's at the where their orca show or dolphin show would be.
I say now we know why Rich doesn't do that job. All the women are coming in. They're like, "What? I don't look like Candace Owens. I'm not cute. What?" And they're like, "Rich, you're fired."
I can't remember what the guy's name is, but he's got a YouTube channel where people put videos of him up doing different things.
What are some of Misty's fears aside from Mini Wayne? If we may
More Mini Waynes?
know, Mr. Wayne.
More Mini Waynes. All the Mini Waynes. An army of Mini Waynes. Yeah, Tom the Mime, that's it. Ron says Misty watches him all the time. He's always doing some crazy stuff.
Nice.
He entertains the crowd between the dolphin or orca show. Or, I don't know if he's at the orca show or the dolphin show. But he's always entertaining the fans that are there, or the people there at the park before the show starts.
Are we ever going to start this bracket?
There isn't one.
God
We're almost 3 hours into the show already.
Yeah, we could have been done with it already.
We
asked
started
an
talking
hour
about
ago.
other stuff, and I got sent a bunch of pictures, and somebody had to show us his orca picture, and
You loved it.
somebody thought this was Gary's show and started sending in Gorn.
You love it. You know, Gary, it sounds like he's bitching.
Huh? No, you just saying, well, you won the bracket, but we had you showing your orca picture, and then we had somebody sending in Gorn.
That was because you didn't do a bracket.
What'd you
None
do?
of this would have happened.
Barbecue was gone. You could have been working on that bracket.
Mm-hmm. This could have all been avoided if there was a bracket.
You know darn well that's not true.
Now you're infringing on Gary's gimmick.
It's Ron 2A's fault. He's the one who sent all these pictures in.
Oh, true. Blame the audience.
Uh-huh.
No wonder you don't have 500 subscribers, as abusive as you are toward your audience.
And cats. People love
That's very
cats.
good.
Like, cat videos go straight to the top. And then you're like, I'm going to kill these fucking cats. Like, that's no way to get subscribers.
I don't like these cats enough to make videos of them.
One thing you've got, you could be a star on social media with all these cats, but no,
Did you say do reviews of the cats?
do videos.
Not just do videos.
Today we're going to review this gray striped cat.
Yes, you could do reviews on the the stuff they use. You could do videos on their litter box and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Tag that stuff on
Mhm.
Amazon,
I don't do
the
Amazon
cat
reviews.
whisperer.
I don't
Well,
think
you could.
I don't think I've reviewed a single product that I've ever bought from Amazon.
It's like you're so damn strapped for time.
Holy shit.
What?
I just looked at Rich's subscriber count on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
It's a palindrome.
Yeah, it is.
Currently.
I lost a sub somewhere, so
464.
it was at 465.
Well, if you'd stop fucking abusing cats, what's the matter with
Not
you?
abusing cats; they're abusing themselves.
What is this, little rascals?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like
If you were
it's
my kid,
fight.
I would
It's
punish
like
you.
cat fight club. The past couple of days, they keep getting in fights with each other. It's like Jesus Christ.
Does your wife yell at them when they fight?
She's in bed. You can't hear them.
Oh, so they never fight while she's awake?
Yeah.
Good cats.
Or they'll wait till she goes outside with the dog and then start.
Sometimes you just gotta let them fight. Let them hash it out. They'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now we are coming up on 3 hours. It's midnight. We're gonna wrap this
Oh,
up.
thank God.
So,
I mean, no.
Anything to plug, Mr. Orca Picture?
Actually, I do. What was it going to be?
Mm-hmm.
It was something important. Well, at least semi-important. I don't... Come back to me.
Okay, Gizzard?
Guess I have to draw this out to give barbecue some time.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. Tomorrow night on the Gizzard Gary channel is a little live stream we call Foul Territory. We do this every Monday evening. That starts at 9:00 p.m. Central Time, where we have a panel discussion. We have a swag giveaway. We show your gourd on the screen, and we do all kinds of cool stuff. And sometimes Rich is wrong, so it's worth tuning in just for that. So, all right, thanks for having me. It's barbecue's time now. Hopefully he's ready.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was.
You just got a picture from Ron Wayne now.
I noticed.
You got to open that up.
Spot the Spock picture. Oh, great! It's Star Trek version of what's his face?
Oh, that's what I was going to plug. Yep.
Huh?
Who sent that in? Ron 2A or Ron Wayne?
Ron Wayne.
Ron Wayne.
Excellent job, Ron Wayne, because you actually helped remind me of what I wanted to plug. Thank you so much.
Six hours later.
Is Rich going to show this?
Yes, I had to get it where it open because
Tune in next week when Rich gets his picture.
I say it's down in this lower right corner. There's
the
three
picture
dots.
did not want to open.
Looks like a computer screen with an up.
Yeah, I see him.
I see you. Yeah.
Blue shirt.
Ooh, Batmobile too. Classic Adam West Batmobile.
Oh shit! I don't
I
see
got
it.
one of those. Is that the Hot Wheels one, Ron?
Whoa, 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 whoa! I see rifle stocks to the right.
He's in his studio, I think.
Let's say that's what's really interesting here. Look at those. Those are
What about what looks like a
dirty.
flintlock pistol on the left?
All right. Do you realize again what I am zoomed into right now and how
I
long
know.
it's going to take me to
I
view this whole image?
Let's say
You son of a!
that picture on my screen is all of about 3 inches tall and 5 inches wide.
I am on a 32-inch monitor right now, and it is
Mhm.
taking up the entire monitor. I have to slide left or right.
Yeah, the
to,
picture that you guys are seeing, looking at it on Rumble Studio, is
34-inch
not
monitor.
very big. Yeah.
Nah, it's probably cap lock. Cap lock.
If
Yeah,
I had
Ron-
YouTube open, it would help.
Ron
I
says
know.
that is the Hot Wheels one. Yeah, I got one of those. That was one of the ones that I had in my Batmobile collection I was talking about. I think it was last week.
He says, "Do you want pew pics?" Sure.
What the hell? More the
Thought we were
I
ending.
merrier.
still got to go to bed.
Well, anyways, what I wanted to plug was DM Foster Show on Sundays at 12 p.m. Eastern or 9 a.m. Pacific. I gave him an idea for a bracket next week, and that should be 8 best Star Wars characters versus the 8 best Star Trek characters. So be sure to tune into DM Foster Show next week, 12 p.m. Eastern.
Yes. Where he actually does brackets.
Yeah, and like this friggin' show.
Every time I do a bracket, you all complain, so why do one?
Well, if you stop letting people in and have them go back, you
No,
know,
you
3
complain about
rounds
the topic
prior.
of the bracket.
Yeah, can you go back to just this particular round right here? This one I didn't agree with. Yeah, can you pad the votes for me? Excellent, thank you. Lame. So I did close and plugs, Rich. This is on you now.
Yeah, I'm trying to. The picture's not one of the.
You don't need the picture
Email.
gone to do your
No,
closing
the
plugs.
email of what Ron
What
sent.
email?
He sent the one that he just sent with all
Nope,
his.
you didn't
guns.
get it. Nope.
I got it.
Nope.
It
He is
was
so
taking
easy
forever
sometimes,
to
Gary.
open. Damn email was taking forever to open. I was starting to get pissed off. Like, God damn email doesn't want to open.
It's a ballroom blitz.
There's what the studio looks like with the rifles, and you got some handguns
Ooh.
in the front too.
Why was this never sent into Gorn on Gary's show?
Yeah, why wasn't this ever sent to Gary for Gorn? He's got a point.
Yeah, I've had a show for years. You guys haven't been on every one. He may have sent it for all I know.
No, I
I've
feel like
known
this would have
Ron
been
a while.
talked about.
I think he just took this picture, Gary.
Well, he hasn't had that building that long. So
We got to do something about the lighting in the photo.
Yeah.
Not your fault. I mean, technically, it probably is, but like
we know he's in the studio for this picture, so I got a
it's
feeling
better than the old gun room. The old gun room was way smaller.
What was a closet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is pretty bitchin'. Bravo.
I still remember the live streams they did in that little room, though.
And remember, he
with
built
all the ammo in the back room.
Yeah, he built this. Yeah, he built the whole building.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Bravo.
Well done, sir.
Now we request an encore, build another. Fill it.
And the cats are starting up again. I don't know if you guys can hear them.
No, never.
Can you ID them? Well, I took the picture down. I'm not going to try and ID all those games right now.
The fuck was that?
I have no idea. Probably name a few of them, but we can do that next week if you remind me. For now, since these guys have both said their plugs and we've been going for over 3 hours now, it's time to go to bed. So,
Has it been 3 hours
yep.
since the second time you started?
Yeah, because for the first time, for some reason, YouTube didn't want to cooperate.
That'll happen. What the fuck is keep popping
What
up?
in the world are you doing?
It's
Anyway,
a friggin' YouTube thing that keeps like just randomly opening on my phone.
Oh, you got virus. Cool.
you got YouTube
Oh, that
virus.
did that earlier too. Well, I was on Fosh's show today, and it just popped up playing his show live as well.
Huh.
I was like,
Weird.
yeah,
Weird. Your phone's haunted.
something.
Mini Wayne's possessing your phone. See what you get for going back and being a member on Ron Wayne's channel? Mini Wayne haunts your
That's
phone
all right.
now.
It's all right. I'm sure he could do worse things.
Mm-hmm. Mini Wayne's trying to steal your phone's soul.
Well, it's
Anyway.
an Android. Doesn't have a soul.
Well, it depends if you believe in Star Trek or Star Wars. Remember, Data's an android, and they said he did.
Ooh. All right, are you ending this?
Yeah, we're ending this. Have a
Thanks,
good night,
Carl.
everybody. We will see you hopefully tomorrow night, and if not, next week. So
Goodbye.
good night. Good night.
You better be there tomorrow night.
Shall not be infringed.
Yeah, we spoke.
Give him the bird.
We talked about him enough. Might as well do this. Shall not be infringed. Good night,
See you on the
everybody.
range. How is that?
Okay, I got it.
That's calf rope.
What are the second words on the
Shit, I don't know.
I know nothing.